Hello everyone. My presentation today is about family outreach, and I'm the Family Outreach Advocate, or FOA. My name is Carmen Croasmun, and I work at an agency called CODI. And what CODI stands for is the Center on Deafness Inland Empire. Now, the address is here on the screen, and it's here in Riverside. We are open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our office is still closed physically. However, we are providing services through email and video. Now, my role is to kind of help you understand what it is that we can provide services for as a family outreach advocate. Also, how we can provide support and advocate during an IEP and IFSP, and also provide deaf coaching. There's a ton of different things that's not just on one spectrum. We can find whatever services that you specifically need to provide help. Now we're going to focus on my role as a family outreach advocate. I do attend IEP meetings and IFSP meetings to support the family. Any school meetings, any meetings with a teacher or with a principal, with a speech pathologist, school district, with any staff member, just to make sure the meeting is running smoothly and the way it should. We are here to support the family. Just to make sure everyone is on the same page with everyone that's in the group. Also, we provide language translations for any documents to help you understand what those particular documents mean or what those documents are for. It could be an email, it could be a letter, it could be a form, any sort of document. We also provide educational workshops. The topics are numerous, and it's based on whatever the families ask for, whatever things that they would like to learn about and different topics. Just an example, say a family wants to learn more information about how to use the space at home during distance learning. We can provide workshops on that, or we can bring in a guest speaker. The services that we provide, if it's not what the family is looking for, go ahead and reach out to us and we can provide a referral to another center or service agency or program that might have the things that you are looking for. For example, parent mentors. What it is specifically that you're looking for, we can provide a referral for. We can also refresh your memory on basic rights according to the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, with IDEA, which is Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, FERPA, which is Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, a Deaf Child's Bill of Rights, and numerous other resources. It's important that you know what your rights are and have the ability to move forward from there. Now I'd like to talk about the IFSP, or Individualized Family Service Plan. Now that is for a child that is 2 or younger, and the purpose is to be inclusive of the family's needs. Typically, that plan is reviewed every 6 months, and the services are provided in their natural environment. That IFSP team makes decisions on how to assist the families. Now for an IEP, which is an Individualized Education Plan, and that is for a student that is 3 up to the age of 21, and it focuses on the individual child's needs. It's typically reviewed once a year, and those services that are listed on the IEP are provided at the school or under the district. And the IEP team members are the ones that discuss and make decisions. Now, as an advocate, what is my role in this? If the family, when they receive their notice of their meeting, prior to that, they need to bring me the letter, and then we can work together with the family to make sure the English is appropriate and they understand all of their rights and that it's supporting their child's academics. We want to make sure the appropriate forms are in place and the appropriate procedures are in place. And naturally, during the meeting, we can come and attend the meeting with you just to make sure that we are empowering the families to make decisions about their child's education. Make sure the meeting is running smoothly, and making sure that the school district is providing the appropriate procedures, and that everyone is on the same page and understanding exactly what's going on. I want to make sure the family is comfortable with the decisions and the decision-making process. Now, my role as a deaf coach, I meet with my clients on a weekly or bi-weekly time frame. Currently, we are working through Zoom, or we can also use a video phone for those of you who have a video phone at home. We're here to support the child's language development, and what that consists of is under the Senate Bill 210, which is the language milestones for deaf individuals. And that's based on months and years of age. For example, when the child is born, we encourage the family members to start making conversation with their child, sign with their child, even though the child is a newborn. Expose this baby to constant language. We encourage signing, for example, the word milk. Ask the child for the sign milk along with the visual of milk. At that point, it gives this child some time to really understand how to make that connection, and they can eventually sign back. 7 months to 12 months of age, babies are starting to point at certain objects. And they learn 1 to 3 signs in a variety of different categories, from 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and so on and so forth. If you are curious as to how that works and you would like to see a copy of that list, I encourage you to take a look at the leadkfamilyservices.org website that's posted here on this slide. Go ahead and click on that, and it will give you the whole list of the different words that are known at what ages. We would definitely encourage everyone to follow along with this list. We'd also like to help the families introduce their own families to deaf culture. And how we do that is, for example, like how do we call a deaf person? Tapping them on the shoulder, or pounding on a table and creating vibrations, or possibly even flashing lights, or what are the acceptable ways of getting someone's attention in the deaf culture? There's a lot of questions that families have, and I am here to model what deaf culture is about. We also like to introduce the families to the deaf community and different events that are hosted. It helps expose these families to different events. For the month of September, we have Deaf Awareness Week, so there's a lot of different events they can be involved in. The community can be the entire families meeting each other, a lot of interaction, playing of games, variety of different activities, different crafts, or participating in other schools' activities that have maybe storytelling or deaf magicians. It could be anything and everything that is available to them, and we spread awareness to those families. Teaching vocabulary and engaging the family with American Sign Language. If they were wanting to learn how to use the alphabet and fingerspell A through Z. If they would like to learn how to sign their colors, maybe feelings, foods, anything you can think of. That is taught through American Sign Language, or ASL. We provide different types of strategies for different communication modes. It could be written, note, pen, and paper. It could be a gesture form. It could be signed language. As to how that would work out, there's different ways of different modes of communication to be able to communicate with a deaf individual. Now, during our session activities, so between the family and the deaf coach, what are types of things that you could do? It helps the families increase some self-confidence and some self-awareness to be able to know what they need to do next. At first, people will struggle. People will question if they're doing things correctly. There's a lot of doubt. But as they move forward with their deaf coach, they become more confident. Their receptive and expressive language, for example, for communication, does get better. If the child is trying to tell you something, they're able to receive that information the child is telling you and then be able to respond appropriately. Different tools and tips. There's lots of different ways that you can do something. Learning how to communicate with deaf people through a video phone and how that works. It's pretty amazing, and learning that information is definitely beneficial. There's also FaceTime on cell phones. There's anything that you could possibly need to learn with tips and tricks. Having a light flashing on a deaf person in a deaf kid's eyes is pretty painful, so maybe a tip on how not to do that. Having the appropriate background behind you for a video call. Just a variety of different things to help you kind of navigate through this. Any of the activities, it truly does help a child be ready to express themselves and really break out of their shell. They can express their feelings and their thoughts without us helping. They're able to express their own words and their own thoughts, their own wants and desires. Absolutely. It's a great start to have them do that. Facial expressions are crucial in American Sign Language. Now the word happy, you can sign the word happy this way with no affect. Your eyebrows show a lot. You say happy or am I happy? That facial expression really helps visualize and describe those adjectives to really help you understand what exactly the meaning is behind it. That way people can share their feelings and make emotional connections. Once they understand kind of how the story flows and how it connects, they understand the language better. Body movement is also important. Now the sign language, you aren't necessarily signing in a smaller signing space right in front of you. Depending on where your Zoom camera is, depends on where you're going to sign. Signing the word dog, it typically is on the leg, or should you do it here or here? What would be the appropriate thing to do on a video screen, and how to make those body movements be flexible? For example, similar to cues, role shifting. If you're making conversation with a child, making that eye contact, are you eye level, or are you role shifting to have a different point of view as compared to the child? How to get that child's attention. So that really helps with visualizing how it works. Visual learning. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic for anyone, for all languages, for all families. If you were to show a picture, there's no words attached to that. And if I have just a picture of an apple with no words, everyone understands what that object is, and you can provide the sign for it. At that point, everyone knows the sign at the same time for that particular object or feeling, and they can make that connection to the object or feeling. Exposing the children to different things around them, having pictures everywhere in the house. When you're driving down the freeway, if you see something that's like for example, like a donut, give them the sign for donut so they can make that connection to what the actual item is. Modeling, being able to show them the signs. For example, if I have a book and the child is sitting on the other side of the book and I'm signing here, is the child going to be able to see the signs and understand what the story's about? Or should the book be lifted on your legs and be able to sign? Or should I turn the book towards the child and be able to sign? That way the child can see the book and me at the same time. So there's different appropriate ways of being able to do that. So there's a variety of different things that we can help with. That's just a small amount of what we can do. There's a lot of things that overlap into creating this fun environment. Now for knowledge after the session. That's not something that you will just walk away from. It's something to increase your family communication at home. Communication is everywhere. Language is everywhere. Conversate with your child as much as possible at the dinner table. If you're sitting at the dinner table, have those conversations. Have everyone included in that one location to be able to communicate. That way no one is left out. Supporting your child's language development, making sure that their age and language abilities are aligned, their confidence and inclusiveness of communication skills. Knowing what your child wants. If you ask your child what they want to eat, if they want for example, a sandwich, sure. Would you like a drink? Sure. They understand what it is that you're telling them. Now, if you go shopping together, sign the different things. Say, hey, can you go get me 2 bananas? And have the child go get those bananas. Meeting other family members. Having them be included in all family activities. They can really share such a rich experience. Different people's family members' journeys. Sharing different tips and different family stories that really enriches the child's life. That way they don't feel alone. Increasing the family's ability to support their child academically and emotionally. Getting involved in your child's education. Knowing what they're doing at school. What they participate in. Really rolling up your sleeves and stepping in. Being part of their journey growing up. Emotionally. You'll know why a child is not doing well. Why they're feeling sick. They can communicate that information with you. That way there's less misunderstandings. Also, we can serve as an additional resource. See, this here is through Zoom. This was several of our families. If you see there's a sign for interpreter, based on privacy, we did block out the interpreter. The first session, we will have an interpreter in there with us to have any discussions of anything that you would like to know. And after a few sessions that you and I have together, we end up dismissing the interpreter, which means now it's going to be a little more challenging for the families and myself to communicate. We communicate in a variety of different ways. We try signing, we try typing, we try writing back and forth. It's definitely an enriching experience, and it helps you acquire the language quicker and improve your communication skills with me and with your family. Family outreach advocates, it's not just here at the Cody office in Riverside. Absolutely not. There are other agencies that we partner with. We have GLAD in Los Angeles. We have Be Glad, which is located in Bakersfield. The Cody office, which is here in Riverside. We have OC Deaf, which is Orange County. And TC Glad, which is in Ventura. So if a family lives in Orange County, you can reach out to OC Deaf for services. We will definitely provide support to each other and provide referrals to wherever you need. So it's really nice to spread that help to everyone. Now, speaking of social media, if there's any events that you would like to know about, any updates or any new events that are posted, anything that you'd like to be involved with, we do have a Facebook page, which is Cody. We have under the Cody Family Advocates. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and we also have our own website. Go ahead and follow and join with us. There also is a contact phone number, a video phone, and voice, either way. There's also an email address here on the screen for you. If you do have any questions, or if you have any topics that you would like to discuss or make an appointment, please reach out to us any way you can, and we will answer through these means of communication. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you've all learned something new. Take care.